Hey guys, welcome to Drop and Gimme 20 with Phil Risden. I am Phil Risden, and guess what? This week is an overtime episode. What? That's right. You guys might not know what an overtime episode is. That's because it's brand new. I came up with it. What I'm doing is once a month, in addition to the episodes that I release, I'm also going to be releasing episodes with guests. Or a guest, whether it's a funny person, actor, musician, someone that I just love and I just want to talk to and kind of get to know them over the course of an hour, which is why we're calling it Overtime. And this week, we have the wonderful, hilarious comedian Mike Hanford. He is a member of the Birthday Boys sketch group, which used to have their TV show, Birthday Boys, on IFC, with Bob Odenkirk as their executive producer. He's worked on Comedy Bang Bang as well, and he's just a hell of a comic and a hell of a guy. I fucking love him. He's great. We talked a lot about a lot of different things, his upbringing, his start with the Birthday Boys, and also the dynamics of comedy and how to stay motivated when it comes to scripts, what it was like for him to get that call and finally know that he was going to be on TV. You know, what's like to sell a show. So we talked about all that in case you guys are very, very interested. And it's just a great episode. It's a great episode. So I know you're going to love it. All right. Here's Mike Hanford.
Our first episodes for sure were like, trying to kind of have it all be perfect. And like, no, the fun things about podcasts are that they're imperfect. And like you're saying, you get to see a sense of the real person.
And they're very spontaneous. But let me dial the
Excuse me.
You okay?
I think I have COVID. That's why we couldn't meet in person today.
Really? So you got tested and everything?
I got tested. I'm waiting on my PCR and rapid test. I did both of them. I go to this urgent care place that's a bit of a shit show, and these rapid tests don't come for like a day.
Okay. Well, it's pretty rapid, honestly.
Yeah. I am feeling sick, but I felt sick for, I don't know. The point being, I should probably not do your show tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yeah, that sounds like it. It's all right.
And I know this is not the listener doesn't want to hear, scheduling stuff between the host and the guest, but hey, this is the real us right now.
Oh, they're going to be crying, dude. They're going to be weeping in the streets. People are going to egg your house now.
No, I really want to do it because I like your shows, but maybe next month. It's a monthly show, right?
Yeah, it's a monthly show, so don't worry, I'll have you on again. But yeah, man, I want to bring this back though too to the sketch group because some of you people may not know, but Mike here was a part of the Birthday Boys, which is a great sketch group and everything. They had a show on IFC. I was going to ask you, as a comedian, I got to know, how was it to get your own TV show? Like, what was that call like?
Oh, it was really cool. It was, we were working on, live stuff for a long time, putting a lot of work into getting attention from IFC. Ended up buying it, picking it up. But, we put a lot of work into it, and it was cool to have, we made the pilot, and that was very fun. And then to get a call, it's like, we want to make this show. I was like, oh, that's so good. I remember I was working at, I was writing at Comedy Bang Bang at the time. And we all went outside and like took this phone call, and it was really cool. And then very fun, and also very like, because it was all of us kind of like doing the whole thing. We had great department heads, and everyone in the departments were all really worked hard for us, and I loved all of them. I missed them every day, Phil. And it was very satisfying to do work and have it seen.
No, that's pretty legit. I mean, so what was the initial thing? I know you were working at Comedy Bang Bang, like you just said, but did you guys do a live show and Bob Odenkirk was there in the back smoking a cigarette and he was like, I'm going to make these kids stars,
Yeah. It was basically his wife, who's a manager, Naomi Odenkirk, her assistant, Brooke Popjoy, who is now executive producer on the shows like Pen 15. Anyway, she went to the show and liked us, and then told her boss Naomi to come and check us out. Gotcha. And then she told Bob, and he came to check us out. And we had a meeting with Bob, and he was like, "Okay, let's do some live shows together and make them like, big, like hour-long sketch shows, and have a theme to it and stuff." So we did, I think, 2 of those. Was it 2? Yeah, 2 of those, like 1 or 2 times each. Maybe 1 time each. Yeah.
Is he like is he a nice guy? Because I feel like I can't get like a read on him as like a regular.
Oh yeah. He's super nice. He's like a real like father figure. You know, he's got kids, obviously, and he's great with those kids. But it is like, you know, we'd be working and he'd like kind of give you tips sort of like in a fatherly way, not like a
Yeah, like how did that feel, like learning from, you know, one of the guys?
Great.
You
know? It was great. If like he's so funny and he made me laugh forever and still does. And when I'd make him laugh in the room or something, it was like, oh, this is great.
That's fucking sick, man. So like,
yeah.
Even with Comedy Bang Bang, like what was that like? Because I loved the TV show, but I don't know much about like the podcast. Were you working on the podcast or the TV show?
The podcast is all improvised, more or less.
It like truly is like everything.
Yeah, I mean, you come in with a character and you tell Scott what your character is, and you kind of, you know, build it all off.
Do you even go like just that day, like you just show up and you're just like, hey,
yeah, sometimes. or I had a character I was kind of joking around with myself at home, and I was like, "Ooh, I could do this on the podcast." And
yeah. That's all right. So like, yeah, did you like so? With the Birthday Boys, how did you guys get started? Essentially, like I know you guys all.
That would be really funny if the podcast, for those who heard it, was written because it's so insane.
It's bizarre, dude. It's fucking crazy.
If someone like we all had scripts with all that crazy shit.
I mean, yeah. I can't imagine if Hey Nong Man was written. You know. Like, because I love that show, and I do, like, you know, obviously it is pretty improvised, but I thought like maybe they have a shell, you know, of like a few jokes that they have and they go off with that. Or,
yeah,
you know,
it's definitely one of those things where like I know kind of, having done it now, what it helps the podcast and the, for lack of a better word, the story of each episode, and it's like you can help steer a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's legit, man. How did you like? Well, also too, like that must have been awesome working on the TV show. Yeah, because that's one of my like favorite shows.
oh, good.
So like I used to love that thing all the fucking time. Like you don't like, dude, you don't get it. Like when I was basically.
Oh, I get it, Phil. I get it.
No,
you gotta believe. You believe me. I get it.
It's fucking. It was so awesome though. Like, you know, I feel like right after I graduated high school, so I was in like my first year or two of college. I think that's when it was kind of just coming out on IFC, like first out, probably like maybe 2011, 2012. I could be wrong, but it's like around that time. Do you know the year? Do you remember?
Geez, no, I helped with the pilot.
Okay.
That may have been 2012. You might be right around there.
Because I just remember watching it and just being like, it was like that. I remember when they first had Comedy Death Ray on IFC.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And like, because IFC was my shit. I basically just watched NBC and then that. And they'd have like Freaks and Geeks, Larry Sanders Show, Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, yeah. Portlandia.
And I just fucking ate it up. And that's part of the things that made me want to be a comedian, you know? So.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome.
How was that to like work on the pilot? Do you and Scott know each other very well? And
yeah, I know him. You know, I've worked with him for a long time and he's a buddy. And I've done, you know, the podcast for a long time. The pilot was great. You know, it was just like a day or two of coming in and trying to pitch ideas. And then they shot the pilot and eventually got picked up. And I wasn't on the first season just because they had, you know, tiny show. And it was like, hey, we can only have so many people. Scott gave me a call, which was nice of him, and said, we can only do, you know, so many writers' room. If we get picked up to another season, we'll probably get a bigger budget. We'll have you on then, which he did. But I remember being like, oh, okay, that sucks. But I totally understand it. You know, I can't wait to watch the show. Hung up and bit into an apple or something and like broke my tooth, broke my back tooth. And I was like, oh, fuck, I could have used a job.
Jesus, how fragile are your teeth that you bit into an
apple? I know. I don't know what the hell, but it was an apple. I was like, good Lord.
That's hilarious. Holy shit. So like, yeah, man, I was a really like a big fan of that show, and I watched it, even the, you know, season with like Kid Cudi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Were you involved all the way to the end once you got signed on? Or
yes. Yeah. What did we do? 6 seasons total? I think I was there for 5 then. Yeah. And one of those seasons was like a 40 episode season.
Yeah. Dude.
That was, I wrote for 20 of those because Birthday Boys was happening concurrently. So you know, while we were doing our show, he had other writers come in and then I came back.
And can I ask you though, like how scripted is that show as well? Because it does feel a little bit slightly improvisational, but there has to be something at its core, you know?
Oh yeah, there's a script. The like A guest bits were kind of scripted out a little bit.
Okay.
And then the B guest, who was usually, you know, the character.
Yeah.
Those were a little more, you know, a little bit of a through line or a character game, but those were pretty improvised.
Okay, nice, man.
Yeah,
Like
it had like when I would go on there and do like Tom Purdy, I think I did. There I had, you know, a few cartoons that I knew I was like had to hit.
nice. Okay.
So it wasn't. Yeah, it was pretty outlined.
So like, can I ask you this as well? Like, what made you want to like get into stand up after doing all the fucking sketch shit and like that going really well? What made you just be like, well, fuck LA, I'm gonna go out to cold, gloomy New York and be like a gritty stand-up comedian with a leather jacket telling
again,
it like,
I need to. Yeah, that's my style. If you haven't seen me, I have the leather jacket. It's a leather like
back.
duster. Yeah, hair back. I'm usually smoking a bowl, not a cigarette. I have a bong in my hand.
Real dice stuff, you know?
No, I mean, I was doing stand up in, you know, solo character stuff and stand up as well in LA. And then I kind of got into it just because it was fun to do and I wanted to keep doing stuff. And it's, you know, just another way to be funny without having to get a group of people together.
Yeah. So what do you
those laughs, Phil? I live off those laughs. That's why I'm bummed not to go to do your show tomorrow, because it's the whole next month I'm going to be drained of my energy.
What? I mean, you don't have anything booked? Keeping it empty for the holidays?
No, I do have actually got a show on the 3rd, a show that I host at BCC. Hey. Plug that. Yeah, there you go. We got a good show. We got Joe Pera. We got Tommy McNamara. We got, who else? We have Joe Firestone and Rebecca O'Neill.
Fuck yeah, man. All right.
Yeah.
That's fucking good.
That's find that on my Instagram. But
yeah, Brooklyn Comedy Collective, right?
That's right.
Nice. Oh yeah.
That is right.
Is that monthly or?
That is yeah, I've done it for, this will be the 4th month now.
Okay. Did you produce shows and stuff in LA as well, or it was?
Did I produce shows?
Yeah, like, you know, you have your whole thing is what is it, Mike Hanford and Friends, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Mike Hanford and his funny friends. I would do I didn't host a show in LA.
Okay.
I had one here, so I moved to New York in 2019 October. I had one at Vaughn. You know that it was like a bar with like a little stage in the basement. It was very cool. It was like I
think I know what you're talking about.
Cavernous little place. And I was doing a weekly show, and I think I did 3 of them, and then the COVID hit. And it was like gone.
Shit, dude, I know exactly how that feels, man. Just because I feel like I was somebody who like I started producing shows more in like 2018, and started getting more and more people, and it started ramping up and getting a little bit better. And I was actually supposed to do kind of a showcase TV show for Brooklyn Public Access.
Oh, cool.
Or whatever. And they wanted me to like shoot a fucking pilot and everything. And I shot something, and they were going to pay to come over here to my house, because the show used to be in the basement. And like, they were going to like actually pay for it and everything. And then the next week, state of emergency.
Yeah. I remember I was on a train, like an Amtrak train, coming back from my brother and sister-in-law's house. And the COVID news was all happening, and the show was supposed to be the next day. And I was like texting with people. I was like, do we close shows, or is this a real thing? Are people even going to come out? And then seeing on Instagram or Twitter, you know, show after show, just kind of like just canceling for the time being.
That whole thing too, I think like a lot of people, at least for me especially, like I didn't think we actually needed to cancel, because I feel like now we kind of forget it because we're so used to like dealing with this now. But like before this, all those like, you know, like having a big pandemic or something was almost like, you know, bullshit. Like there had been other things like swine flu and SARS and bird flu. And that's kind of what I thought it was this whole time. And then people really started being like, yeah, no, we're not going to do the show. We're not going to do. I'm like, everybody's
this whole time, meaning still now, you think?
Oh yeah, still now, dude. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. I walk around.
Yeah, man. I totally remember it was like, we're going to have to go inside for 2 weeks, and then we'll be back.
Dude,
crazy.
6 months happened, and the economy went in the shitter, and we're just losing it. Like, what were you thinking in that time, man?
Wow. Me personally?
Yeah, you're firstly.
I said, as long as we don't get to Omicron, I'll be fine.
There you go. And then here we are.
Yeah, is that what it's called? Omicron? That is so devious sounding.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's weird. It sounds like one of those like a villainous company in like a superhero.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
made me think of Age of Ultron. The Marvel.
Yeah,
The Marvel
exactly.
movie.
Like Omnicron Industries. It's like, what are
Yeah.
they, you know?
That one's coming from South Africa, and I think it's already in like Berlin at the time. This was
Dude, it's
totally
in
like
Israel, it's in Berlin, it's in Belgium, it's like all over. It's spreading through Europe and shit. Like,
fucking hey, man.
it's fucking crazy.
I hate when you open up your news app and it's like I keep saying it wrong. Marcron.
I think it's Omicron. I think it's Omicron.
Omicron. Omicron is it's like Omicron is coming, but how soon? It's like
it's fucking crazy. But let's stay away from the life-threatening diseases.
Yes,
we finished that segment.
Thank you. I people tell me that all the time. I keep bringing it up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, for a comedian, you're really bringing things down. It's cool.
There's a lot of humor in this dark stuff. I'm kidding.
No, there is. I do a lot of it
about
all that shit. But I wanted to ask you just about like, kind of like your upbringing. Like, where are you from?
I'm from Rochester, New York. It's Western New York.
Oh, so you're from the East Coast.
Yeah. I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
So I'm used to the winter that's sort of creeping in here.
Yeah.
I was enjoyed funny things and being funny with my friends, but I didn't really like perform at all. I wasn't ever in plays and stuff. I was very, very shy, and moving to LA like was the first time I like started doing stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So like after college and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So like, who like really like is your kind of like family funny? Are they interested in like comedy and stuff, or were you?
They are funny. Yeah. It's funny that like my mom tends to be a little more like Steve Martin-ish, and my dad is a little more like acerbic humor, maybe, if I'm using that word correctly.
I have no idea what that means. Is it like witty kind of like
yeah, what am I trying to say? He's a little more
ish.
Well, yeah, he likes Seinfeld for sure. But yeah, a little more like realistic.
Gotcha.
Not as like goofy and silly.
Gotcha.
So I sort of have both of those working on me. But I used to love watching Steve Martin and stuff. And
yeah, what were some of your like I don't know, like what would you say were some of the comedy shows or like movies that you fucking just like went apeshit for? Like, did you always think in your back of your head like, I want to do comedy?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I didn't think I could. I didn't know how it happens. I feel like the internet now is so helpful with people because it's like, I know that this stuff is going on. People are putting videos out all the time.
I know, yeah,
and funny videos, and you just realize that like, anyone can do this, and then hopefully, you work your way up and make some money at it.
It's so different. Hold on 1 second. Let me just.
Sure.
I have to. All right, it's recording again. Yeah, no, I totally feel that way. I feel like people nowadays are like super fucking lucky with that. It's like, do you remember when like people thought show business was insane? They thought the thought that you were gonna do it was like crazy, and you were just a weird person.
Yeah.
And it's changed so much. Like I feel like my age, like I graduated high school in 2009. Mm-hmm. And basically like that was kind of like, I think YouTube came out in 2007.
Right. So that was like an option for.
So this like things started to come out, but even so, YouTube wasn't as much as it is now. It was more like a lot of web series and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's totally different. But yeah, these kids, they really know that they can like do these things.
Yeah.
And now even so, it's like when I was in like the thought of going to film school when I was in high school was like, you're either going to be Martin Scorsese or you're going to be a loser, working at fucking
logging tapes and stuff.
Yeah. Or not even in the business, just like pumping gas because you can't get a fucking job anywhere. Whereas like now, like social media and content creation is a part of every corporate sector.
Right. And I think even probably not even like the entertainment business. Like if you wanted to be a marine biologist, you see some videos on it and you're like, wow, I could actually do that. Not just like, what does a marine biologist do? I don't know.
Yeah. I think so, man. So are you guys?
The internet ended up opening the world for people, I think.
It definitely did. I think it exposed so many people to so much like different shit. I mean, that's basically what everybody says about it, but it's really the truth of the matter. Where just like you're saying, like whether it's marine biologist or comedian, you kind of
the only two professions that matter.
Oh yeah, there are the only two professions left in America: is comedian and marine biologist. We're marine biologist time here, folks. We have a lot of foreign listeners. For some reason, Bangladesh loves me.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, watch Mike Hanford. I don't know if Birthday Boys is showing in Bengali, but please
streaming. I think it probably must be at this point.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I feel like it just opened up so many different like avenues for people. Like if I want to learn anything, I literally just turn on YouTube and just type in how to do the thing.
I always forget about that. I'll be like, trying to figure out how to put, I can't even think of a good one, how to like repatch a hole in my wall when I like, tried to hang a picture and it got all fucked up. I'll be like, okay, let me go online and read about it. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I can just look at a video.
Yeah, dude, you can just watch the whole fucking thing and it's right there for you. It's fucking perfect. It's amazing. Do you think like, because you did so much, live content, like I'm calling things content now. See how fucking crazy the internet is?
You're sucked in.
But you've done so many live shows and now you do stand-up. Have you ever thought about trying to do more sketches and putting those out on YouTube and getting that monetized and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think at this point, like with the band we're doing, our albums are sort of or we do some music videos too, but like those are like the things we're putting out there. And then the the podcast is now just like the
main thing.
Yeah, the main thing, because it takes up a lot of time. Again, it all comes down to like just getting people in the same room and doing stuff, which takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's kind of a bitch nowadays. I'm not gonna lie, dude. And they're saying things might lock down again, so it's like Jesus Christ. Like, do I have to
start true?
Square one? Yeah. Like New Jersey, I think, is kind of going into a state of emergency where they might have to lock down for like 2 weeks, and we have pretty low rates in New York City right now.
Yeah.
So
are you did you get your booster?
I haven't got my booster because I just got it last week. True American, but I will. Have you gotten yours?
Yeah, I got mine last week.
Okay, so maybe some of that shit is just residual because they have side effects a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping what I have now is just a cold or something because I'm double vaxxed and boosted and flu shot, so I feel like I'm. What's going
so
on?
You're half cyborg, dude.
Yeah.
It's all up in you, man. No, that's fucking dope. So I mean, dude, now that you're here, number one, I wanted to ask you, how do you guys record the podcast? Because you're two friends.
Zoom, baby. Just Zoom. Like we're doing it right now. Yeah. Really? And it makes it much easier. We've done it together before, and it like the mics all bleed into each other. So we do it on Zoom.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, I listen to the podcast and I feel like it sounds great. So
I'll tell Jeff. Thank you.
So it surprises me that it's actually on Zoom because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of times on podcasts, you can hear that it's on Zoom.
Yeah. Well, are you on? What are you talking to? Are you wearing headphones? I can't really see.
I am wearing headphones. Yes.
Okay. So and you're going. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I got a headset. I'm going into my iPhone right now.
Gotcha.
Because I was just I ended up fucking leaving some shit at my mom's house, so I didn't have my XLR, so I can't use my fucking mixer, and it's been a whole fucking thing, man.
It's a whole thing.
I've had the worst 2 weeks of my life. I lost my fucking wallet when I headed down to Orlando.
Oh man, that sucks.
So all my shit's gone, like credit cards, money, everything. And then I came back home after Thanksgiving break, and someone stole my moped.
Jeez, Louise, really?
Yeah. So,
while you were away, they took it?
Oh, yeah, while I was away. So they cut through the lock. And
man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's
stole that shit. It's all right. So, needless to say, this is the highlight.
Oh, you like it? Okay.
No,
it's cool. I like this type of stuff.
No, it is what it is.
I know.
I learned how to, like, kind of like roll with the punches, man. I think it is part of just doing stand-up and comedy all the time. You
Yeah.
get so much rejection and you're so broke all the time and you get treated like shit. So you're just like, this isn't gonna break.
Who's treating you like shit? I'll talk to him.
Yeah, it's tough. No. I don't know. So how long, like, did you deal with a lot of that type of stuff? Not someone stealing your moped, but like a lot of like early rejection. Like how long did you guys
Oh yeah, for sure.
before you started getting like, comedy bang bang jobs and like, all that?
Probably she's probably like 6 years, 7 years of just kind of doing
okay.
Yeah. No, maybe let's see. I moved.
You're like, actually, it was
maybe like 9 or 10, 8, 9, 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys are all together in that group for that long, really?
No, not necessarily in that group together, but just like
doing things and
doing stuff.
Got you. Okay.
Considering myself a writer, actor, comedian.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Like, okay, that's what I'm doing out here, and then take a while for.
Do you think you'd ever want to, I don't know, be a writer on another show, or do you want to just go the more independent type thing that you're doing right now?
Well, yeah, I'd like to write on a cool show that pays me lots of money. So that's always fun.
A shitty show, though. Tell me.
Yeah, a shitty show that pays me even more money.
Yeah.
No. I'm auditioning a bunch, and that's the game.
Yeah, that's fucking cool, man. I mean, I think that's the most interesting part about comedy in general that I'm learning the longer that I do it is just like how the game never stops. Like it's like
right.
I know so many people who, when I was first coming up, like, like a year in or something, I'd be like, oh my God, that's like this person. And really it was just like they had a small role in something.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, but I recognize them and you're at this open mic. What the fuck?
Wow.
And then you see them
totally.
and you see them like 10 years later and they're doing well, but it also just like kind of sets in that it's just like, yeah, this is kind of just, you're just going to keep doing it until
right.
You strike gold, or even if you strike gold, that show will eventually end, and then you keep doing it.
You got to keep doing
it. And it's like, you better love this shit, or else
you're not all Ryan Reynolds out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? Like, what is some of your advice to a lot of people wanting to start in comedy and like all that type of shit?
Just doing it is a big thing. I think a lot of people, myself included, you kind of wait and it's like, oh, maybe I should. Don't get COVID.
So that's number one.
That's number one, almost for any profession these days. Avoid COVID. And go on YouTube. No, it's like just do it. Keep trying it. Be okay with not getting paid for it for a while.
Yeah.
Meet people you like. There's a lot of bullshit out there and a lot of people that don't like see comedy the way you see it. So find the people that do see it the same way and work hard at that.
All right, cool, man.
And be nice to people.
Yeah, I think that's the thing
that's
that
never, it doesn't work. Like the other way doesn't really help anyone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like that's a hard thing that like people would always say that, and you never really truly. It's a simple thing, but you never really truly understand it until you've done comedy for a while. Did you have like a bitter phase? We've all had a bitter phase.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when things aren't working out. And also a big thing that I've noticed recently, it's like, don't shit on stuff that's not for you. I mean, it's, everyone has text threads with their friends like, oh, did you see that new movie? I didn't like it. But I think it's something I realized is like every TV show, movie, whatever, it takes a lot of work to get made. It's very difficult. So everyone's, somewhat trying their best, you'd hope.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that, man. I feel like for a long time I had dealt with a lot of, just negativity and just bitterness in comedy of just being like, I don't know, it's just like you love comedy so much. So then you watch someone who you don't think is good, but then they're getting all these things and you're like, it's not even that you're mad that you're not getting it. You're just upset that they chose this person.
Sure.
And it's like, it took a really long time for me to simply put that aside and also to admit that, like, all right, even if I don't like this person, they did work hard.
Yeah.
And also, even if they didn't work hard, people see something in them that they think is worth something, and you have to at least like respect that in some sort of way.
Right. Yeah, you're right. If there's a big name or someone getting work or a lot of things that you see, they've worked very hard for it.
Yeah, man. So
and had to go through the bullshit.
Like what about you? Like I know you said like you've definitely dealt with like some of that, but was that like a big issue for you when you were younger, or is it just
no? And an easy part of doing not easy, but a helpful part of having the Birthday Boys show or the Birthday Boys sketch group was, and living with those guys, there was a lot of like support. So if you don't get something or things aren't really going your way, or you're frustrated, you're kind of all in it together. So it feels, you're making jokes and stuff about that. I remember we did a show with Eddie Pepitone once, and we did a sketch. It was essentially a stand-up show, probably Comedy Bang Bang actually, or Comedy Death Ray. And we did a sketch that I forget what it was, but all of us on stage. And then Eddie Pepitone came out. He's like, those sketch guys, all of them out on stage, they're cowards. I'm the lone wolf. And he was like joking, but he's right. It's like we all all of us were just like, it's easy to go on stage together and all sort of bear the brunt of it. If you're doing stand up, you're like, I'm the only person talking. If you're not laughing, you don't like me.
But I think you're absolutely right. But it's like one of those things where, and I you're definitely right. And I've felt like Eddie Pepitone before, just being like, yo, like, fuck these guys. Half of them are fucking like rich kids who came up and they just did a bunch of UCB shit, and now they're at like the best place ever, and they get to talk with all these fucking people, and like, how funny are they? And they, I'm out here doing it alone, and if I fucking lose, I fucking lose, man.
We'll try to avoid that feeling, I guess.
That was years ago, but I'm just saying I definitely have had that vibe. But I'll say, like, on the other side of it, it's like, yes, if you fail doing stand-up, it hurts more because you're alone and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you succeed, I think it does feel a bit better because it's literally only you and you're just absorbing that.
Yeah, sure. Right.
So there's a flip side to both,
Yeah, it is fun and rewarding to be like, hey, this is the one thing I thought of that I thought up, and I said it and the audience laughed at it and they thought that was funny too. Wow, what an achievement.
It's so weird. Like how was the the stand-up and sketch kind of rivalry in LA? Is there, because I feel like over in New York it's definitely changed. I think since COVID it's kind of splintered everything, and even before that I feel like there is a bit more camaraderie after a while, but for a long time I feel like there was a real, like, people did both, but there's kind of a real hard line of like, we do stand-up, we're stand-ups over here and we're the sketch people over here.
Yeah, right. I don't, that's a good question. I don't know if I was perceiving any of that type of like the Pepitone thing I just mentioned. He was like fully joking. I think he was.
Yeah. I'm not saying, yeah.
But I don't know if there was much of like we don't do this sketch stuff or like the improv is not stand up or whatever. I'm sure there are people who thought like that, but they didn't tell me.
I guess so. That's cool, man. Because
if they started to say it, I'd be like, don't tell me that. I don't want
like,
I can't do
fuck up.
I can't talk to you about the art form of comedy right now. I'm going on stage.
Well, I think that's a big thing too, is like, well, in LA, there's a lot of people, want to be actors, which is a great thing. So maybe that's why also too, like, maybe everybody kind of mixes in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like in New York, if you're a sketch person, like, don't get me wrong, like stand-ups will shoot sketches and put them on YouTube or something. But like, as far as like doing a live sketch and stuff, it's just, there's not as many like theaters and shit. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
We had like UCB and Magnets, and that's kind of it, I think it just makes it so much more distinct, but how was it like coming out here for the first time though? Or had you
it was very fun. I'd never lived here before, so it was fun to come out and start meeting people and seeing how shows work and stuff. It was like I was just starting to meet people outside of people who I knew already, and like, oh, okay, I like seeing them at shows, and they are funny, and I like seeing them. And then everything shut down, and it was like, oh.
Yeah. That's
I'll
kind
have
of
to start that back up again one day.
I feel you. I mean, but you're doing it though, buddy. I've seen you. You're everywhere. I can't.
Come on, man. You got to get out there. You got to do it.
And you're there. You're haunting me. It's
haunting. I go to, I just show up at theaters and start talking.
They're like, we just let him. He just got up there. I guess we'll just let him go.
You can't do that anymore. You're not welcome. You'll finish your set, but you're not welcome anymore.
Yeah, man. I think that's really cool. You're out here, and I know you were talking about how your stand-up's not as introspective. Have you ever wanted to do more of an introspective type of stand-up? Do you think you'll slowly evolve?
There are some jokes I'm doing now that are a little pulled from the headlines of my life, let's say, but that are as starting points.
I feel like you never just talk,
Right. I don't think I do that a little more while I'm hosting this show, but it's I think I'm a little too, again, going to the podcast thing, being like, if I just talk, does anyone give a shit? It's usually, like I was saying, it's some jokes I'm doing now are just like, a starting point was I saw a cockroach in my house. So now I do 20 minutes on cockroaches.
Oh, I love that cockroach. I'm like, there's more. Like, I need more. No, I feel, what's so funny too, is like, I always talk to sketch people, and a lot of them do feel that way, that they're like, oh, like if I just talk, who cares? Like, why do you think so many of you guys think that way? Why do so many people think that way, you think?
I don't know. Lack of confidence?
I guess, but then
hatred for the self, maybe?
I guess so, but I hate myself just as much. But I'm like, everybody's gonna fucking hear me.
I think it's more. I think the tradition, like practice of like writing a sketch down is just kind of how my brain works, and that's probably why I gravitated towards that initially.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like there's an alternate universe where I did sketch, because I feel like a lot of my stand-up is more like fake storytelling,
Yeah. You're right.
And I always wonder that. I'm like, should I have I do love stand-up. Like, there's something about it that's so addicting and so like rewarding and amazing. But there's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, there's another Phil Burke in another parallel universe who's just like at UCB right now, just clacking away on a keyboard. And he never goes outside. He never gets rest. He just writes scripts all day. What about you? Do you have any upcoming projects that you are crafting with some of your friends?
I'm writing. So yeah, I'm got a movie and a pilot that I'm writing right now that I'll send around.
Oh,
but
nice.
Nothing.
Make sure to tell it to the camera in detail. I need.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's also funny as we're like finishing up the year here. Yeah. I do this every year. I'm like, fuck, I didn't finish that thing I was gonna even start this year. So I'm like, sprinting to the finish line on some of this stuff, and then also just kind of like, it's the end of the year. I don't care.
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, also too, like, we're kind of winding down here because we've been on for a while. And I feel like I got to get rid of it. There's only so much.
I feel like I'm going to cough my lungs out at any second.
But I did want to ask you, now that you brought up the whole, like, kind of rushing at the end with scripts, what is your pacing like as far as like workload? Because definitely like putting off until the last moment, thinking about things a lot, but not actually scripting stuff. Like I have this pilot that I'm writing is, I've got it all like outlined in my head and a bunch of scenes I've thought of, but writing it so slowly. Okay. That always makes me feel so much better. I think there's so many people that think like a lot of people who have written for shows or who are like writers, quote unquote, or whatever, that all they do is they wake up in the morning and they write a bunch of shit. And there are some like that. But
I know,
and I'm so jealous of those people.
I find every excuse to be like, I probably should get my groceries. I'll get groceries, and then then I got to eat lunch, so I'll do that that's what takes me 3 hours for lunch. I'll do that.
Oh yeah, but like what are some exercises I think that like help you? Like, is there anything that helps you stay concentrated on the task?
Yeah, well, something not necessarily concentrated, but it helps me is, first of all, putting my phone in the other room, and then there's a video on YouTube by John Cleese. It's like a talk that John Cleese did. It's like almost like a TED talk before that was kind of a thing. But he's talking about like creating in an open mode and a closed mode. Open mode being just like, any idea is a good idea. Write it down, think about it better on. And then closed mode is taking those ideas and actually writing them down. So that's always something I think about. Like, I'm writing a script here, or doing a stand-up joke. This isn't going to be the thing that gets shot on TV. That's locked in forever. It's like whatever. Just write the scene out. Just get it done, and then go back.
I agree. I mean, like I tell, like, I struggle with that a lot of times too, and like having like real concentration with things. But I have finished actually a decent amount of scripts, and I have some friends, like we all have that friend who's like has the most amazing ideas, but never writes any of it. He has like an Oscar-winning script in his fucking head. But he never writes anything. And I always tell them like, dude, like you're getting too distracted by the intricacies of everything. Just get the first draft finished. Even if the first draft is like complete and utter nonsense. Yeah. You need to have that like bare bones thing and just get it done. And then you can just chip away at it. I feel like a lot of people, when they're trying to write a script, they're trying to write the seventh draft before the first. Yeah, exactly. And it definitely hurts a lot of people. So I don't know. Like, is there any other advice like you can give on that, or it's just like just finish it?
That's all I got, man. Just finish it.
Tell me more. All right. You're hiding something.
That's all I can figure out. Oh, just finish it.
All right, man. Well, this has been great, dude. I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coming on, man. You're fucking awesome. You were the first actual guest I've ever had on this show.
Ooh, very nice.
It's a solo podcast, so I'm starting a whole thing of like called like overtime episodes where I do like almost a full hour.
Nice
people. So I just wanted to tell you thank you, man, and your shit's hilarious, dude. I love you.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that. And I think the last time I saw you, you didn't have the beard. I like the beard.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking long, man.
It's a nice look.
Thank you. It's less of a style change and more just poverty, but
there you go.
I make it work,
Yeah, but all right, then I'll see you in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But it's even better.
No, I meant your show.
Oh yes, yeah, for the show too. I'll let you know about that date and everything, and we'll talk about that. Thanks for doing the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, dude. Peace.
All right, guys. Well, that's the episode. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you guys liked it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And, check Mike out. He has his podcast called The Sloppy Boys. I know you'll love it. He's really funny. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this at least once a month, if not more, possibly. But I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. So, once a month, and if I give you any more overtime episodes, that's a bonus for right now. Who knows? Maybe the amount will increase over time, because this was a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. This has been Dropping Gimme 20 with Phil Risden. I am Phil Risden, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.